9,842 steps. You've been walking all day. You're tired. You're ready for bed. But your watch says 9,842. And suddenly the last 158 steps make the difference whether you're healthy or you're lazy. So what do? You start walking around the kitchen, check the watch again, maybe pace up and down the hallway until finally 10,000. And there it is, the watch celebrates. You celebrate, your body is officially healthy. But why 10,000? Why not 8,000? Or why not 12,000? Or why not 7,486? Who decided that 10,000 step was the number that our bodies needed to be healthy? Because if you think about it, our watches track it, the phones track it. People literally change their days to hit this number. And I'll be honest, I never questioned it either. I just assumed somewhere a group of scientists plotted this beautiful graph and said, 10,000 is the magic number. Except that's not what happened. It's not even close. So I started looking into where this 10,000 number actually originated from. And the story takes us to Japan. The 1960s, around the time of Tokyo Olympics, fitness was becoming a bigger conversation. And a Japanese company selling a pedometer, which is basically an early version of a step counter, which is now on the wrist, they called it the Man-po-ke, which roughly translates to 10,000 step meter. And here's the crazy part, the 10,000 magic number was not designed by a landmark research paper. The number literally became famous after being used in an advertisement. That's right, it was proposed by marketing. For decades, millions of us have been chasing that one number that was never originally handed down or backed up by medical science. It was just attached to a step counter. And there is another narrative. The Japanese character for 10,000 also looks like a little man trying to walk. It was memorable, it was catchy, and clearly it worked, because more than 60 years later, we're still walking around in circles around our kitchen at 11:58 p.m. just to get those final few steps in to hit that magic 10,000. Now at this point, it would be very easy for me to say 10,000 step is a myth, video over. But there is a problem. Because decades later, when scientists actually put that 10,000 step to the test, something really strange happened. That random looking marketing number wasn't actually that stupid. In fact, science may have given that 10,000 magic number a second life, but not for the reason you think. Part 2. Science finally put the number to the test. So if 10,000 steps came from marketing and not some scientific discovery, now does that mean case closed? Throw away your smartwatches, delete your fitness apps? Except there's a problem. Because when science actually put the number to the test, it wasn't all that bad. Let me explain. In 2025, researchers published a huge review in the Lancet Public Health. They put together the results from 57 different studies, which included more than 160,000 adults. And instead of just asking, is walking good for you? They asked a much more interesting question. They asked how many steps were actually needed. 2,000? 5,000? 7,000? Or is it the almighty 10,000? At what point does your body magically go, congratulations, health unlocked? Now let me explain this answer. Imagine your health benefits like climbing a hill. At the bottom, you're doing 2,000 steps a day. You start moving, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6, and then 7,000. As you're climbing, the health benefits start to add up. Then you reach around 7,000 steps. At this level, something really interesting happens. The hill starts to flatten. Researchers suggest that 7,000 steps daily were associated with 47% decrease in death from any cause when you compare it to 2,000 steps daily. The study also found lower risks across several other outcomes, which includes cardiovascular disease, dementia, depressive symptoms, and type 2 diabetes. So 7,000, not 10, 7. Hey, hello. Oh, hi. Why am I walking 10,000 steps then? Is it just useless? No, absolutely not. And this is where I think people mess up this story. Let me explain why. 10,000 steps still remain a very healthy goal for active people. But the point is, 10,000 steps is not the finish line. Your body doesn't just sit at 9,999 steps going, absolutely nothing today, mate. No, every increase in movement matters. Now, I want you to imagine someone's currently doing 3,000 daily steps. And then I tell you, no, you got to do 10,000. You're probably going to think there's no chance. So then you'll do nothing. But what if I didn't tell you 10,000, I told you 4,000? Suddenly, it seems doable. From 3,000 to 4,000, it seems doable. Then gradually, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Now the steps you're doing suddenly don't become worthless only because you're not hitting that magic 10,000 at the end of the day. Your steps still count. And this reminds me of something we spoke about in our last video. We became so focused on whether sitting was the problem that we almost missed the bigger picture, which was movement. And I think we're doing something similar here. We've become so obsessed with finding that perfect number that we might be missing the simplest message. But then I had one more question. If 10,000 steps isn't magic and 7,000 steps seems to capture most of the health benefits, now what should your step goal be? Part 3. So how many steps should you actually do? If 10,000 steps isn't magic and 7,000 steps is capturing our health benefits, so what's the perfect number? Now, before we solve the mystery of this magic number, let me just reiterate that we are obsessing over this magic number far too much than we actually need to. Because let's say you're currently doing 2,000 steps a day and I tell you, no, you need to do 10,000. Now that's not advice, that's a threat. You're looking at another 8,000 steps every single day. And for a lot of people, that seems impossible. You might do it one day and maybe again tomorrow, but the moment that motivation is gone, there's no way that you're gonna get close to 10,000 if your current baseline is 2,000. Here's what research actually tells us. It tells us to stop asking what that perfect number is and actually focus on how much we are moving right now. Because if you're doing 2,000 right now, going to 4,000 matters. And then 5, then 6, then 7. And on the other hand, if you're currently doing 10,000 or more than 10,000 comfortably now, that's great, keep going. Now at this point, some of you may be thinking, why bother with 10,000 when 7,000 is capturing everything? But that's the problem. Now we've just replaced one magic number with another. 7,000 is not the new 10,000. The point is, there's no magic number. And honestly, this is the point where I think smartwatches have messed with our brains a little. They've turned movement into a pass or a fail. 10,000 means success. 6,843? Nah, better luck tomorrow. But your body doesn't work like that. Your heart doesn't look at 6,843 and say, no mate, didn't count. Because every single step matters. Every single step counted. Every time you choose the stairs over the lift, every time you choose to walk to the shops rather than drive, it all counts, it all matters. Hey, so do I need the 10,000 steps now or not? No. Okay, so 10,000 is bad. Also, no. This is what makes the whole story of this 10,000 steps so much more interesting. Because a number born from marketing became a global health target. And decades later, when science actually put it to the test, they said, you know what? It's not perfect, but it's not terrible. Now, if you want to understand why movement throughout the day matters so much, I've linked a video up here. I think that's the perfect video for you to watch next. Until next time, stay curious, ask questions. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next Body Talk.